Raphael, I haven't heard from you yet. Let's go over to you. Can you briefly describe the port's role and authority when it comes to commercial fishermen, and give us a bit of history or context from the port's perspective as how you see this project?
Sure. So we're obviously at the port right now. We are a state agency that was created by the state legislature in 1962 to manage the tidelands around the San Diego Bay. So we're talking about 6,000 acres of land, about 34 miles of coastline. The other 20 miles of coastline around the bay are controlled by the Navy. We have a very diverse port. It's a very unique port. It's not a giant cargo port. We have the commercial fishing operations. We have the largest sports fishing fleet in the world. We have hotels, we have retail, we have 22 parks, we have wetlands. So it's a very unique place. The Port Act, which is the enabling legislation, provides for a number of priority uses: commerce, navigation, recreation, and fisheries. It's a priority use. So obviously fishing has been in this region for a very long time. We heard all about the Japanese, the Portuguese, the Chinese, the Mexican fishermen, the Italian fishermen. We support the industry. We want to do everything that we can to support the industry. We have challenges. Much of the infrastructure that is in place, we've spent about $1.7 billion building infrastructure since the inception of the port. Much of it is reaching the end of its useful life. These large piers and other infrastructure works. So we have tens of millions of dollars in capital improvements and repairs that need to be made. Tuna Harbor, Driscoll's Wharf, the infrastructure issues there are no different. About 10 years ago, there was a commercial fisheries revitalization plan that was conducted by the port along with some grant money from the state. It was a physical inspection of the facilities as well as some plans for what could be done. At the end of the day, like many things, it came down to money and people mobilizing. We are doing something right now that's very exciting. We're updating the Port Master Plan. The Port Master Plan is the master document, the blueprint for what the waterfront will look like for the next 50 years. Brad, you talked about many of the promises that haven't been kept. I agree with you. But what we've been doing for the last 4 years of planning is we've embarked on a process that we hope will result not in unilateral promises by politicians who've made deals among themselves in back rooms, but a contract with the people. We have been engaged in a public engagement process, many workshops, public outreach, board meetings, public surveys, to come up with what do the people want. We came up with a number of guiding principles as part of that. The very first guiding principle was to honor the water. The vision was one bay with rich diversity. You talk about the diversity of the fishing fleet, the diversity of the port, and we want to promote that. The commercial fishing is a priority use, as I said. We want to maximize our deep water resources, our dredge resources. We want to optimize our infrastructure that supports water-dependent uses. That's part of all of this process. What's exciting about the Seaport project is here's an opportunity to bring in money. Lots and lots of money, private money. Because as I said, the port only has so much. We have our own operations. So here is an opportunity to bring in a lot of money to make improvements in agreement with what the fishermen would like to see, what they need, and what we would like to see. We agree that having a robust fishing operation, a theater where people can see what's happening here, it really promotes the working waterfront. And that's good for the port because many people don't know about the working waterfront at the port. And so when we have an opportunity to bring in real investment with some vision, consistent with principles that have been developed with the help of the people, it's a major opportunity. I'm so happy to see what's happening right now. This is part of the process. It's a very important part of the process that people are paying attention. Thank you for being here today. This is very encouraging to one commissioner. And so I encourage you all to keep our feet to the fire. The fishermen are a salty bunch. They're a lot of fun to work with. But I realize that you've faced many challenges over the years, and I think that there's a great opportunity now to make some real progress.
And the future of Tuna Harbor specifically involves not just the fishermen, excuse me, but also secondary industries, and I think that's why Chevis is up here as well. Chevis, can you tell us a little bit about what is a processor? What does a processor do, and how does that fit into this whole vision?
Well, first I will say that it is quite terrifying to public speak right after a port commissioner. So that's a broad question, right? With Santa Monica Seafood, within our organization, we have multiple distribution facilities, multiple processing facilities up and down the coastline of California, as well as in Nevada and Arizona. Chesapeake Fish Company, which is our San Diego division, it's been there since 1915, so we're 102 years in running. There's a lot of history that supports Chesapeake. That building has been there since 1973. We provide support. That's essentially what we are. We provide support for our commercial fisheries. We provide support for our commercial fishermen. We're the buyer, right? We're the buyer. We're the distribution source to get the best quality seafood on the planet all over, not just in California, but in the other out territories that we service. So that's essentially what we do.
Okay. And you told me a while back that you wanted to see a revitalization of not just the grounds, but of the fisheries themselves. You want to see more landings. In an ideal world, how does that happen?
Revitalization of the infrastructure would be first and foremost, I think. What that'll do is it'll make it a lot more attractive for other commercial fishermen to come and fish out of San Diego. Just to give you an idea, Santa Monica Seafood, our procurement will go through about 60 million pounds of purchases, seafood purchases this year. A fractional amount contributes to our local seafood source. It's not because we don't want to buy the local seafood, it's because we need to revitalize the commercial fishing industry so it's available for us to buy. Second off, we'd have to educate the public. You know, there's a lot of chefs here, a lot of recognizable chefs and high-level chefs here that do a tremendous job of marketing our local product. We have the best seafood in the world here in San Diego. The freshest, the best, the most sustainable practices, so on and so forth. We need to educate the public on it.
And off of that, can you, actually I'll switch over to Kelly, can you kind of talk a little bit about what the barriers are to making this